What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another Fallout discussion video to be going over with you guys. In today's video, I actually wanted to be talking about where I think Bethesda could actually take us, potentially after, Fallout 76's The Pitt DLC, of course, does come out. Of course, I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself. For all we know, this Pitt DLC could absolutely suck and not be that good at all, but I actually have a lot of faith in this DLC because, for those of you who didn't know, it was reported that Bethesda had actually started working on the Fallout 76 Expeditions DLC all the way back in 2020, where they, had an idea that was going to potentially, be, we would go to these certain locations, do this and that, but we'd only do one quest there. Of course, we might go to, like, Chicago, or, of course, the Pitt, or even the Capital Wasteland. Do one mission there, and then come back. Very similar to the content that was, of course, added in Fallout 4's Creation Club. For those of you who haven't seen that, we got to go to the Capital Wasteland, pretty much do one little mission there. It was kind of like a Fallout 3 remastered and Fallout 4 experiment for Bethesda to see if they could, put the Fallout 3 content onto Fallout 4's engine, pretty much. And now, of course, we're going to the Pit. But basically, again, as I was saying, it was supposed to be we'd go to one location, do a mission there, and that'd be that. But they decided in 2020, I would say midway through 2020 maybe, hey, let's, of course, redo this and not have it so you only do one mission, and then we'll go to this big location, we'll do this and that, and then have a big storyline there. Very similar to, of course, Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC, where you catch a boat and explore a whole new island, etc. Pretty much what's going to be happening with this new Pitt DLC is that they will have been working on this for a very, very long time. Pre-production in 2020, I would probably say, where they looked at the location, picked it out, discussed what they were going to do, and then I think for this whole entire 2021, I think they've been developing it partially, doing this and that to it, and then, of course, mainly doing Steel Rain, but the Pit was kind of on the side. And then I think when Steel Rain comes out, I think July is really when they'll flip the switch and say, let's work on the Pit practically full time. And then I think, considering Fallout 4's Far Harbor, DLC was, I believe Bethesda had worked on that for probably, 6 months or something, and it was a really big, DLC, practically a new game. I think Bethesda will have had probably more, months to work on this Pitt DLC, so I expect it to be as big, if not bigger, and I think it will be a very, very interesting thing. So, I think it's going to be successful, and that's why I'm going to be talking about the new locations that I think we'll potentially be exploring, of course, after that. Now, the locations that I think we could potentially be seeing is, of course, number one, the Capital Wasteland. It makes so much sense for them to say, hey, we've done, Pittsburgh now, let's go do Washington, D.C. Everyone loves Fallout 3, everyone wants a Fallout 3 remastered. Let's rip off everyone and give them a Fallout 3 remastered, but in Fallout 76. Basically, it won't be a Fallout 3 remastered. We'll just get to see what the Capital Wasteland looks like 200 years or so before we got to play that game. And hey, I'm not complaining. If I can see, Megaton be, maybe built or something like that, that would be awesome. Imagine getting to see Megaton being built, around, the bomb, and imagine getting to see some of the first Megaton residents. How awesome would that be? Could you imagine, though? Now, I think this would be the absolute coolest thing ever. So, in Fallout 3, for those of you who didn't know this, before the game takes place, it is widely established that Vault 101, where the vault, of course, does take place in, it has been very, very established that in Vault 101, the vault actually used to be open about, a big certain time before, of course, the game does take place. The vault was open. Imagine if we actually got to maybe go into the vault 200 years or whatever before that, game does take place, and get to see what it was like. Get to see what it was like as a potential trading hub, which is what I believe it was originally before it closed down. How awesome would that be? Another thing would, of course, be, to see the rise of maybe G&R Plaza, getting to see some of that. Who even knows? The only location we've seen so far was leaked images of DuPont Circle, which was, of course, you know, leaked, I'd say probably a year ago. I'm not exactly too sure. DuPont Circle sounds really, really cool and whatnot, but I think it'd be much more fun to take the, you know, make the game take place in like a pre-Fallout 3 Megaton. That whole area would be really awesome to see, you know, getting to explore a Megaton maybe before it was built, and getting to see, you know, explore maybe what Vault 101 was as a trading hub would be really, really awesome to maybe see. I doubt we'd obviously get to see why Vault 101, you know, eventually closed down, because I think that actually closed down like 20 years before Fallout 3 takes place. It's probably like about 180 year differential, so I don't think, you know, that would really happen at all. But hey, going back to DuPont would be, I guess, an interesting thing. But it's not like DuPont's like got a big, you know, kind of nostalgia factor in my memory at all. Like, DuPont Circle was cool, but it's not like, hey, how are we going to compare DuPont Circle to Vault 101 and Megaton? Like, that's what's really in my memory, and I think in a lot of people's memory. But hey, if they go to DuPont Circle, I can't, you know, even remember a lot of the stuff that even happened there. But hey, if they go down there, maybe experience some of the underground, you know, train stations and whatnot, that would be a pretty interesting thing to maybe see them do. You know, so again, I think outside of the pit, let's be honest here, the Washington DC capital Wasteland area, I think that would be the next place they would probably go. And considering they've already got like DuPont Circle in pre-production, maybe they're working on it right now as we speak, and they'll probably maybe announce it once, who knows, the pit is kind of done. But, you know, speaking about this as well, the pit is still relatively close to West Virginia, which is pretty evident, of course. Another thing that's close to, you know, West Virginia is a couple of really, really important states. Of course, Ohio, one of the biggest states in all of America, really, really known for its, you know, hard dedication to sport, really. That could definitely be a place they look to explore. Of course, most people would probably like to see them maybe explore Cleveland, but that probably wouldn't happen considering Cincinnati's the closest to West Virginia, and that's probably the main area, of course, you know, they would explore. And I don't really know how many people want to go and visit Cincinnati, so that will probably get ruled off. Kentucky will still be there. I guess Chicago as well. There was rumors Chicago could potentially be interested in it, but Illinois is pretty far away from West Virginia, so I don't necessarily think they could be maybe an option, but who knows? Well, I guess they definitely could be, just probably not, right? But again, Virginia, that's pretty close, but probably not going to happen, especially if we've already seen, you know, West Virginia. Again, Nashville is relatively close, and again, New York. New York's probably one of the closest ones, but I think they'll kind of save New York for most likely, of course, a Fallout 5 game. So I don't think we'll go to New York. So the prime, I think, candidates are, of course, Washington, D.C., Cincinnati / Cleveland, I guess, Chicago, maybe Nashville, and I think Detroit could be on there. I think maybe exploring, you know, Fallout and getting to see maybe that rich Motor City kind of, you know, kind of background. Like maybe getting to see, who knows, maybe some still remaining working cars that could be really cool. Imagine getting to drive a car in the Fallout universe and getting to see like the demise of vehicles. Because I'm guessing, you know, the rich history of vehicles in Detroit and Motor City could definitely be like a thing that maybe they emphasize on. But again, after the pit, I think they will explore Washington, D.C., and then I think Chicago will probably be the other one they'll probably look to go to, because Chicago is still a pretty big location. But of course, if you haven't already, I'd really like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest Fallout content and Fallout news. don't forget to check out my IRL/long channels, and don't forget to check out my sports channel as well if you haven't already, which I will link in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.